Thank God, now 2,000 members support Israel. In fact, they want to support a settlement. What's wrong with supporting an Israeli settlement? What's wrong with supporting the Jewish people who are living there, coming from all over the world hungry?
When you go to the university, particularly, because it's getting to the young people that is very important to change minds. It's very hard to do that with the older generation, including myself in that, is that what's the best way? Or let me ask you, what sort of questions do they ask you? I mean, they might, these must be pretty picky questions.
Most of the questions they ask me, on the radio or mostly in a lot of the universities, they doubt is, are you really who you are?
That's what I was thinking a few minutes ago.
And last time, 2 days ago, one guy says, you're an Israeli.
That's what honestly, I was thinking the same thought.
You're an imposter, you're an Israeli. I said, sir, I bet you $120,000. I'll prove my identity, that I'll collect $120,000 from you after I prove it. You'll pay me $120,000 to prove that I am who I am. Would you be willing to make the bet? He says, no. I said, then why would you accuse me of being an imposter? Why would you make such an accusation? If you're 100% sure of it, you would make that bet in an instant.
Of course you would, yeah.
And he didn't. You see, he knew he was lying himself.
Other questions you're asked. Young people thinking, how can this be? Good question that you put.
Most of the questions regarding is the lack of understanding of the history of Israel, because that's been gone. You see, all the fabrication that's been going on all the time. They are startled. Could this be true, what you're saying here? A lot of the questions regarding the land, regarding the Palestinian rights, regarding the Palestinian state, establishing a Palestinian state, a lot of them are skeptic. They don't believe what I'm telling them. And I said, if you want to, how can we believe what you're telling us? Say, okay, I have a simple proposition to you. Put a kippah on and go to the streets of Ramallah and see how long you will live. Now, you're not a Zionist, you're just a Jewish worshiper. Go put a kippah on, go to Shechem, and go try to pray in Joseph's tomb, and go to the Palestinian neighborhoods and see how long you will live. That will be the litmus test to show you that is not an issue that is an issue of land or Zionism or any of that sort. Because Joseph's tomb, and we're talking about the Joseph's tomb, got burned, got desecrated, got, all the Torah scrolls, they peed on it. I mean, it was things that are horrific. They did. They painted it green, declared it as a mosque. You see, 16 holy places in Israel got desecrated. When did Israel ever desecrate an Islamic holy place, a Christian holy place? They have total respect for all religions.
And for life, as you said earlier.
And for life. That's why they even allow the Muslims to worship in the Temple Mount.
Can I ask you this? Because this only happened recently, and I must say, as much as I understand from history about Israel and the situation, I cannot and could not understand that the woman's life was taken with her 4 children the other day. Why women? Why women and children? What's wrong with men going to fight men like we used to in the old days?
I asked that question to my cousin when he stood up one time in front of the TV when he saw Adolf Hitler. And he saluted Adolf Hitler. I said, excuse me, why would you salute Adolf Hitler? He killed children. He didn't kill Jewish adults only, but he killed Jewish children. And his answer astonished me. It shouldn't have astonished me, because I was one of them. He says, because these children are the future soldiers of Israel. They also must die.
How can you beat that sort of mindset?
You can't. You can't reason with terrorism. You can only beat terrorism. You can only destroy terrorism. It's evil.
How? You use the word destroy. How do you destroy it?
By waking up the West. England needs to wake up, as America is trying to help in destroying terrorism. The West needs to, the EU needs to wake up and go full throttle, say there's no room for terrorism in the world. Go to the source of terrorism. Go to the Abu Sayyafs of the world in the Philippines. Get rid of this entity. Go to the Hezbollahs and get rid of this entity. Go to Hamas and get rid of it. Go to all these jihadists. You gotta defang fanatic Islam from jihad. You can't let it go like that, because it will destroy you. It will destroy the fabric of your nation. You have a duty for your children and your children's children. And it's on your neck. That is your duty as an Englishman, for your children, as a mother, for your children, not to allow this brainwash to come to this country, and it will. Because if you look at every Judeo-Christian country that undermined its spiritual values have lost to the Islamists. Syria was a Christian country. Even Saudi Arabia was Christian in some ways. Lebanon is a Christian country. It's gone to Hezbollah predominantly. You know, Egypt was a Christian country. What happened? Turkey was a Christian country. The 7 churches were in Turkey. Every single country that lost its heritage have lost to one group, and that's the Islamists.
So what's going to happen to Britain? All right, before you answer that, think about it. Do you think that America then has been so great, and whereas England and Great Britain was so great, is because we have acquiesced and given up on our support outwardly for Israel?
Yes.
That was a short answer.
That's a short answer. We have given up, Britain have given up Israel. And here's a good example. The United States blesses Israel. The United States is blessed with everything. They got the jobs, they got the, you know,
the economy,
the
cheap
they got
oil,
the beautiful.
even though they don't think it.
Yes. I'm afraid to walk in the streets of England, you know.
So am I.
Yes.
When we're moving.
You know.
No, it's all right. You actually live somewhere else, but
yeah, I
we
live
have
in the
to
United
live
States.
Here.
You know, how does it feel? How does it feel to live, you know, in a country that you are afraid to speak, you're afraid to walk the streets, you're afraid to express your opinions? This is not the England of the Balfour. You know, Balfour and Chaim Weizmann, they created the State of Israel. Balfour was a Christian Zionist, and Chaim Weizmann was a Jew. They got together, and God used them to create a State of Israel.
Reminds me of Leon Uris's Exodus. There was a group of Arabs that were living there in the north. I can't remember the town, but they were so helpful to Israel. Recognized that these people were coming back. They were traveling from Russia, walking over all the mountains and everything to get there. Got there and were helped by their Arab brothers. I call them Arab brothers.
Yes, yes.
But they had such a hard time with the rest of the Arab nations, and were even losing their lives for allowing Israel to really, or the Jews to return at that time. Yes. Is that a true picture of what was happening then from a family's point of view or history?
I lost the point.
Leon Uris's picture of the way that the Jews are returning, you know, before obviously 1948.
Yes.
And their trail of hardship getting back and coming over into that particular, the northern part of Israel, they were helped by the Arabs.
Yes.
And a certain Arab group, I can't remember the name of them.
Yes, you have the Druze who stand with Israel. The Druze have been great friends of Israel. As a matter of fact, my grandfather was friends with Israel. Many Arabs were friends with Israel. Many Arabs didn't hate the Jewish people coming to that land. It's the few landowners who got jealous because they had what was called the peasants, the fallahin. And these people were given loans, never to be able to pay these loans. You see, then they saw that there's no ability for them to pay their loans. Israel, the Jewish settlements were providing medical care, real salaries. So they moved over there, started working for the Jewish settlements, and they got jealous. So they started this hatred and this war and this battle. But many Arabs had no problem with the Jewish people. Did you know my father was saved by a Jewish doctor? My cousin, who's a Hamas activist, he teaches Islamic theology in Jerusalem. He was saved. He was drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, saved by a Jew. While 2 of his classmates died while they were trying to save him. Muslims tried to save him, they both died. He was saved by a Jew, you see. And
the press doesn't print this sort of stuff.
That's right. And I asked my father, I said, Father, have you prayed for your Jewish doctor who saved your life? He says, I can't pray for him. I have to curse him. Can you imagine?
So why do you think, really, that we as Christian believers should support Israel right now, given your background?
Israel is a democracy. It's a democracy. It's a beacon of light in the Middle East, a beacon for democracy, a beacon for freedom, a beacon for prosperity. It's became such a wonderful industrial country, planted the land, you know. We could learn from Israel, and our Arab friends could learn from Israel. Sometimes we have to apply tough love, as we do. You know, we have to apply tough love, say, no, you're wrong, you know. And we need to support Israel because it came to be as a light to the nations. And indeed it is. But we are blinded to this because we only see what is being told to us. You know, I have spent years researching Jewish songs. Can you imagine such a thing? Researching Jewish songs. Because all my life I learned the Palestinian songs, the Palestinian revolutionary songs.